The TV series The Fugitive captivated America with its high-stakes, dramatic plot. The show was created by Roy Huggins, an author who created other narrative-driven television shows like The Rockford Files and Maverick. The Fugitive aired from September 1963 to August 1967 on ABC, and it aired a total of 120 episodes, each one clocking in at around 51 minutes long. Of the 4 seasons, the first 3 were filmed in black and white. However, the 4th and final season was filmed in color. The Fugitive was quite different from many other TV shows of its time, because its narrative structure didn't allow episodes to resolve neatly each time. This kept audiences on their toes throughout the whole duration of the show. It was ranked by TV Guide as the best dramatic series of its decade, and it also earned a spot as number 36 on TV Guide's list of greatest TV shows of all time, as of 2002. The show was also nominated for 5 Emmy Awards, and in 1966 it won the Emmy for Outstanding Dramatic Series. The show was most popular in its 2nd season, when it was ranked as the 5th most popular TV show according to the Nielsen ratings. While it wasn't quite as popular during its 3rd and 4th seasons, a staggering amount of audience members tuned in to the finale, proving that it never truly lost favor with audiences around the country. The show has remained incredibly popular. So much so, it has even inspired several remakes. In 1993, the show inspired a film of the same name starring Harrison Ford as Dr. Richard Kimballs. In the year 2000, there was also a short remake of the show, but it ended a year later. There's another remake of the same name which is set to be released in 2020, and while the plot has changed somewhat, the overall themes should remain the same. In today's video, we're going to look at some fascinating behind-the-scenes facts about The Fugitive. Even though its ratings dropped a little during its 3rd and 4th season, its legendary series finale was so groundbreaking that a record number of people tuned in. Make sure you stick around because we're going to reveal just how impactful that series finale truly was. The series was inspired by Les Miserables. Any author takes inspiration from the world around them, and sometimes that inspiration can come from other forms of media. All great creators learn from others, so it's no surprise that The Fugitive had some interesting inspirations of its own. Roy Huggins, the creator of the show, was loosely inspired by the French historical novel Les Miserables, which was published by Victor Hugo in 1862. In 1980, the novel was adapted into a French musical, and its English adaptation has been running since 1985 in London. In 2012, it was adapted into a film which won 3 of the 8 Academy Awards it was nominated for. However, The Fugitive seems initially a far cry from the plot of Les Mis, until you break it down to its bare essentials. The Fugitive follows Dr. Richard Kimballs fleeing from a crime, while he is eagerly pursued by a ruthless police lieutenant, Philip Gerard. Similarly, the plot of Les Mis follows a convict, Jean Valjean, who is being pursued by one of his old prison guards, Inspector Javert. Supposedly, the name Philip Gerard was loosely inspired by Javert's name as well. The narration for the series finale was changed in Canada. Americans had waited a long time for the series finale of The Fugitive. However, the show wasn't just being broadcast in America, and it had die-hard fans in other countries as well. The series finale was released in the U.S. on August 29, 1967 on ABC. Every episode of the show was narrated by William Conrad, who, aside from working as an actor, also had experience as a director, producer, and even as a fighter pilot in World War II. His sonorous voice was perfect for The Fugitive, and he also narrated the shows Buck Rogers in the 25th Century and Rocky and Bullwinkle. The opening narration for the series finale of The Fugitive began Tuesday, August 29th, the day the running stopped. This was the exact date that the show itself had been released. However, viewers in Canada wouldn't get to see the series finale until September 5th. As a result, the date of the narration was changed to September 5th for the Canadian viewers, giving the audience the impression that the show's events were occurring in real time. Dr. Richard Kimballs' origin story was changed. When the show was in its earlier stages, the writers wanted the main character, Dr. Richard Kimballs, to hail from the state of Wisconsin. However, they later learned that the show wouldn't be accurate if this was the case. Dr. Richard Kimballs, who was accused of murdering his wife, was sentenced to the death penalty as a result. He spends the show on the run from the law, evading execution and searching for the real murderer. However, Wisconsin law didn't actually allow the death penalty in cases of murder. As a result, the writers had to modify the script so that Kimballs originally came from Indiana. The wanted posters, which listed his hometown as Beloit, Wisconsin, had to be changed to read Stafford, Indiana instead. What a nightmare for the art department. While some of the changes were made seamlessly, you can find one error if you look closely during the Season 1 episode Glass Tightrope. In the episode, one of the posters still reads Beloit, Wisconsin. The series finale was insanely popular. As we mentioned earlier, the show reached the peak of its popularity during its second season. However, during its third and fourth seasons, it dropped in popularity. Miraculously, though, the series finale was stunningly popular. The idea of a series finale was actually a new concept at the time. Before it, most shows simply kept going until they were canceled, and most writers and directors didn't put the effort into creating a narrative series. During the series finale of The Fugitive, however, all of the events of the show culminated into one amazing two-part episode entitled The Judgment. When the series finale aired, almost half of America tuned in to watch Dr. Richard Kimballs confront the show's villain in a high-stakes episode that would go down in history. In total, 45.9% of American households watched the finale when it aired. It held the nation's record as the most watched episode until the Dallas episode Who Shot JR. The show didn't just change history because of the series finale, though. The entire concept of a narrative television show paved the way for countless beloved series to come. Make sure you stick around until the end of this video, where we'll reveal just how much The Fugitive would shape TV shows to come. And if you're enjoying this video so far, please take a moment to like it and subscribe to our channel for more. The train crash footage was from a comedy. While on his way to death row, Dr. Richard Kimballs found the opportunity to escape when the train bearing him crashed. Of course, getting good footage of a train crash isn't an easy feat, and the show simply didn't have the budget to film a new one. As a result, the producers of the show combed through films and TV episodes to find a train crash that would suit their needs. They found the footage they needed in a 1938 romantic comedy, The Young in Heart. The train crash was used during the opening credits of the show as well, and most fans are surprised to learn the footage comes from a lighthearted film, since it was used in such a gritty show. Much of the show's music was also recycled. The train footage wasn't the only piece of media that was recycled for the show. Finding the budget and time for a decent composer is hard work, and producers ultimately decided to recycle music from other shows and films. It would take a keen ear to remember these melodies, but if you listen carefully, you might be able to hear music from The Outer Limits, Branded, 12 O'Clock High, and even The Twilight Zone. It paved the way for narrative television. Today, we tend to take ongoing narratives for granted in our favorite TV shows. However, at the time The Fugitive was created, episodic forms were the norm in TV. Just think of The Twilight Zone or Star Trek. The thread of Dr. Richard Kimballs' plight and his pursuit of the one-armed man spanned a crazy 4 seasons, and if a fan missed even a single episode of the show, they'd be certainly confused while tuning in the next week. The Fugitive was one of the first TV shows to use a narrative structure, but this form is now incredibly popular. Without The Fugitive, we never would have gotten to see shows like Stranger Things or The X-Files come to life. The Fugitive made history in a lot of different ways, but of course, the creators of the show still took inspiration and even footage from other pieces of media. Were you more surprised to discover the show was inspired by Les Miserables, or that the producers used footage from a romantic comedy? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Factsverse for more.